Sawadee krap. Welcome to a new episode of Cooking for Fun. My name is Nick. Today's episode is totally different than normal. We would like to talk to you about meat, about technique and how to prepare your meat. And I would also like to recap some of the older episodes. We have shown you how to make lamb, beef, pork, chicken, and I would like to invite you to come with me to the meat department and meet my colleague Simon. Let's go. Hey Simon, how are you?
G'day Nick, how are you doing? Sawadee krap.
Whatever your requirements, see this man either in Central World or Central Chitlem, and he is cutting it for you. Any size, any shape you like. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We have some lamb, I guess.
Of course, we do have some lamb.
Leg of lamb. We did that together with all the trimmings, I remember.
That's correct, we did that also, yes. It's an easy carb leg of lamb with half the bone removed.
After lamb, I know we have a lot of chicken.
That's correct. We've got chicken, we've got pork, we've got homemade sausages. I mean, the pork we get is from CP. I mean, this is some of the best standards of pork in the world, I would have to say.
I think you jumped the gun. He talked sausages. Tell me about it. You make them actually here.
Homemade sausages? Yes, we do. We do English sausages, chorizo sausages, Italian sausages, herb and garlic sausages. You could even give me a recipe and I could make it for you. That's right.
And you talked about pork, and I know we did pork loin.
Yes.
With, what was that?
It was a pork loin with crackling. The pork loin with crackling, we've got the pork belly, which is over here, and that's got the skin on it, and basically the loin in the middle, and we scored it and did it with fennel seeds and mustard.
Sounds great. I think the viewer should get a view of that. Pork loin with fennel seeds and mustard. Have a look. How do we start today?
Well, we've got a nice piece of pork loin here. We've got the skin on. It's got the belly attached and the loin here, and this will keep it nice and moist. First we will just make a few slight marks on the pork belly, and this will help for our marinade that we're going to make in just a moment, for everything to sort of get right in with all the flavors. We need a little bit of olive oil, some fennel seeds. Fennel is really, really strong, very nice, goes wonderful with pork. Now I've just added some fresh rosemary, freshly chopped rosemary, finely chopped, and we've got some whole grain mustard. And we just give that a mix. Oh, and I forgot, we need to add some garlic as well. Pinch of salt, bit of black pepper, and we're done. Now what we'll do is we'll
that looks wonderful. I always use my hands.
And what we can do is we're just going to fold that up, right? We're just going to fold that up, keep it pressed tightly. Place a piece of string, and we're going to put this, we're going to tie this quite tight. We want to have this quite tight with the pork.
Basically, for the consumer at home, very important is you can prepare that dish well in advance. You can keep it ready done in the fridge, and when your guests come, all you do is you actually literally put it in the oven when you need it and just prepare mashed potatoes or have a salad to it. You know, very, very, very easy.
Now what we've got here, it's nice and firm. Just piercing the skin. Piercing the skin on the outside.
Why are you doing that? That heat penetrates better, or that it's easier to cut later on?
It's easier to cut later on, and also when the salt gets in there, once we season it in just a moment, it will help the skin to sort of dry it out and become nice and crispy. There you have it. You've got the skin all nicely scored just here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to rub this with lots of salt.
Can I ask a question? In the past I've seen something like this with crisscross marks on the back.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Well, the crisscross marks is probably a lot more decoration, a little bit more decorative. This way is probably a lot more easier to carve. It's probably a lot more easier to carve for people at home. If you're slicing, we have to cut the pork this way so we can cut it the same way. Some olive oil on there.
Basically, you could also do that if you take some butter and you rub it on the ground of the pork.
That's correct, yes. Yes. Right, now we can put that in the oven at about probably, for the first 20 minutes, probably about 200, 220 degrees Celsius. And that's to get the skin really nice and crispy. You can get it really, really nice.
Look at that. This looks fantastic. Very hot. Look at that. Simon, I'm getting hungry.
Oh yes.
Look at this.
We need a pair of tongs.
I think I hold it for you. Okay, wonderful. You can make a gravy out of that. That's not a problem.
Yes,
but for today's dish, we don't need it.
No, that's right. Today we're going to serve it with apple sauce instead.
While the pork is resting, we are finishing off our mashed potatoes. I just chopped some potatoes, put it in salt water, and basically cooked it for around 10-15 minutes.
That's correct. They'll be nice and soft, and
should be finished right now. So they're nice and steamy. Let me just use a little knife just to check how far they are. And they're actually pretty good. They're nice and cooked. So we should drain them.
Now we've got a big large knob of butter here. We'll throw that straight in. That'll melt down with the temperature being so hot. We've also got some nice cream. We'll add 110 mils, 125 mils of that.
Yeah, basically always try how many potatoes you have. And sometimes you add a little bit of cream.
That's right.
So it's basically don't do too much.
Yep.
Start mashing,
yep.
And then we basically see how it goes. Our mashed potato is finished. We should cut some of the pork.
Right, and what we're going to do is we just